Welcome back, everyone, to the definitive Let's Play of Skyrim. We are over-encumbered. Let's march on. The biggest problem in controlling leveling
There's no way out that way,
is going to be my stealth skills as I try to pick locks and pickpocket and clear non-dungeon civilized areas behind me. Ultimately, I may end up having to postpone level ups due to the fact that I would prefer to hold levels rather than have to backtrack, and it'll ultimately even out anyway. So, there's 16 lockpicking. I prefer not to break picks, because that results in extra lockpicking experience that I don't want. Search the skeleton, take the coin purse, and march onward. Good. I do warn you that while I want my videos to be an hour long, processing is such a pain in the ass. If it crashes, I'm declaring right now at the outset that I'm just going to roll with the crash, upload the short video as a segment, and just deal with it that way. It's a lot easier than trying to fix a corrupted file or splice together two. I've had bad experiences with that have thrown off my recording schedule by weeks at a time.
This way.
Yeah, I get it. Let's chat with the assistant.
What? Stick together down here. What?
That's all he has to say, apparently. So,
Come on, hurry up.
the torturer's assistant is probably going to die in this bigger fight with the Stormcloaks. Hadvar, of course, is essential and will be fine. I, in order to avoid skilling up in areas other than enchanting, am going to hang back and let the two of them handle it.
Where'd you come from?
Get in there, Hadvar.
Die!
Acquit yourself well, my friend.
Give up while you
Just a scratch. It's nothing.
Your own kind.
I'm trying to avoid being seen. There are 5 Stormcloaks in there. They'll almost certainly be able to beat Hadvar enough that he has to take a knee and cover. However, I did just hear somebody get killed here.
You can't beat me.
But I don't want them to come at me. Is what I was about to say. I did receive a complaint that the in-game sound was too loud relative to my voice. I turned it down from 75 to 60. Let me know if that works.
I'll see you in pieces. Damn! Where'd you go?
Yep, they are coming at me.
Come on!
I cannot handle it, so I'll have to loot that other one later.
That it? At your best? Show me what you
Everything gets easier once we have a proper follower whose equipment we can control. I will say that probably the single toughest bit in the entire game will be Dustman's Cairn for the Proving Honor quest and the companions. The reason for that is you do it fairly early. It just makes sense to, because it gives you access to so many other things down the line. And the other big thing about it is Farkas is not only not a proper follower in that you can't adjust his inventory or anything like that, but his coding is broken, making him almost useless.
That's the last of them. Did you hear something? Found you.
So it can be quite difficult.
Damn! Where'd you go? You're dead. For Ulfric and Skyrim. Oh well. Must have run off.
What ultimately happens is, eventually, it sequences so that Hadvar gets all his health back.
That takes care of that.
As silly as this seems.
And Skyrim! Come back here. Can't hide from me.
Oh, good. I was gonna say this might let me see something.
Where are you? You can do. You're mine. That's the last of it. For Ulfric and Skyrim.
Come on now.
Damn, there you are. Where'd you go? Come on. Come on.
Look like they've all kind of made their way down.
That takes care of that.
The torturer's assistant must be lying dead somewhere already. If he survives, all he says is he's gonna go look after the old man.
That takes care of that.
He doesn't accompany you past this fight with the 5 Stormlords, even if he does survive, so...
That takes care of that.
He's definitely dead somewhere. The question is where?
Somewhere. That takes care of that. Come on. Death to the Empire! You won't leave here alive.
I think Hadvar got his full health back.
This ends now.
That's key.
You don't have a chance. Won't leave Skyrim alive. You can't beat me.
Got one of them near death.
Not like this.
Two of them, maybe.
There's no escape from my imagination. Damn, over here. Where'd you go? It's the last of it. What was that? Never should have been there. It's the last of it. Imperial dogs! No! It's the last of it. What was that? Come on. That takes care of that. Death to the Empire! That's the last of it.
Sounds like Hadvar's health is down again, but he got two of them to near death as well, so...
That takes care of that. You win! I submit! You're alive! That takes care of that. You won't take us alive! You won't take us alive! That takes care of that.
I would, of course, greatly prefer...
That takes care of that.
that Hadvar get it, or that Hadvar finish
That
them
takes
all.
care of that. More outbreak and Skyrim. That takes care of that. Imperial dog. Come on. That takes care of that. My eagle. Death to the Empire. That takes care of that. Someone there? That takes
Maybe he's
care of
about to.
that. She won't take us alive. That's the last of them. Victory's yours. That's the last of them.
I think I just heard one get killed. That's awesome.
Mighty Smear, you won't leave here alive. Or outbreak and Skyrim. That's the last of them. You're mine. That takes care of that. You're mine. That's the last of them.
Keep taking care of business, Hadvar. You're awesome.
Mighty Smear, you won't leave here alive.
I'm also trying to keep track of what searching I need to do. When this is over, I will have 4 Stormcloaks and a Torturer's Assistant I need to track down and loot. Oh, there. Hadvar got in a lot of licks on that archer. That's good. Are there only 2 left? Yes. That's awesome. He probably only needs to get his full health back one more time to handle 2. I'm assuming he's already burned the 3 healing potions he carries by default. And one thing I forgot to mention in the first video that is nonetheless true is that on the gear checklist, actually needed for a quest later on, is a simple potion of healing. The degree doesn't matter, it can be any kind, but it can't be one you make yourself. It's got to be one you either purchase or, since I never purchase anything, that you find out in the world. So, oh good, that one's a low health. So any of the potions of minor healing that we got in this dungeon will suffice for that quest when we get to Riften. I just need to remember to hold on to one. And never fear, I will. Kill cam! Hadvar had one Stormcloak left.
Let's see if we can find a way out.
And Hadvar is victorious. What a boss. Probably 2 dead Stormcloaks down here. 1 and 2. As expected. Dead Torturer's Assistant, as expected. I will put on his Imperial Light Bracers. They are an upgrade relative to my fur gauntlets. And another dead Stormcloak.
Come on, this way.
I think for killing things when I have to do it myself, I'm going to try to use destruction spells because those will gain the fewest levels. I won't have to do it myself.
Let's see where
very
this
often.
goes.
When I do, that'll be what I use. If something's too powerful for them to work, I'll probably cheese it with archery. Cross the bridge.
I guess we're lucky that didn't come down on top of us. We'd better push on. I'm sure the others will find another way out.
Right you are, Hadvar. Let's see how long that fight took. About 20 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. We should definitely make it out of the keep before the end of this video. I don't quite know how far we'll get. We'll at least make it out of here.
Follow me.
Shut your face, Hadvar. I'm coming.
Over here.
I'm gonna go over here first. Alright? The skeleton up here. He's got some loot.
Come on. Over here.
Jump that rock. Okay, that's fine. See, look. Coin purse. Gold. Potion of minor healing. Goodness gracious me.
Follow me.
Coming, dude. Chill out.
Don't fall behind. Don't fall behind. That doesn't go anywhere. I guess we'd better try this way.
Another coin purse by this skeleton. Very handy.
This way. Come on.
Hadvar deal with the spiders. Start 5 total. There are 3 little ones in there right now, which he'll kill very easily. Then if I come forward just a touch, 2 bigger ones, although not giant caliber, will drop down from the ceiling. And Hadvar's more than competent to handle that as well.
I knew I heard something. You're dead.
Yes, I love it when my followers get kill cams. I guess he's a companion, not a follower. Gadoosh. All right.
What next, giant snakes?
So we have 5 spiders to search. 1, 2, 3. That one had a silver garnet ring. I need a total of 6 rings. That's my first one. 5 to go. 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, very good. Then there are 2 web sacks hanging from the ceiling. UESP has become much more detailed, even since my first playthrough, which is pretty cool. Now I know exactly what I can find in every room of every dungeon. 2 web sacks and a desiccated corpse. And then as we go around the room, there are 7 egg sacks. 6, 5, 4, 3, And just so my console friends can follow me, I read it and took it off the book list, but really I shouldn't have that extra copy of Brief History of the Empire V2 that was rushed into the bookshelf, so I'll drop it. 2, 1, 0 egg sacks, and an iron mace. Perfect.
Better stick together down here.
In that case, there are other we'll find dozens of copies of Brief History of the Empire V2, but there are places where there are unique notes. I'm thinking particularly the Thieves Guild that you just simply will never have access to without the console. So what I'll do is I'll click down to show you where those notes are supposed to be, read them so you can see them, while leaving them where they are and not picking them up. Because my console friends on the Xbox 360 and PS3 won't be able to access them. Here's a potion of health and an iron dagger with another skeleton. You'll let Hadvar yammer about the bear that he doesn't want to fight, but he's going to fight anyway. One note about bear pelts. We need 11 standard bear pelts, and as well as 10 that can be any variety.
Hold up.
For a quest.
There's a bear just ahead. See her?
I'd rather not tangle with her right now. We might be able to sneak by. Just take it nice and slow, and watch where you step. Or if you're feeling lucky, you can take this bow. Might take her by surprise. Go ahead. I'll follow your lead and watch your back.
I'm actually going to update the list I'm using just to reflect that fact. We need 11 standard bear pelts in order to fully furnish the Hearthfire homes. And we need 10 of any variety for a quest in Iverstead, so you might want to separately track those. Press Control to start sneaking. Hooray. That's all well and good. Let's look over here now. Inside the cart we have 3 Alto wine and a coin purse. Down here we have an iron helmet, a lantern, and some Blackbriar mead. The Blackbriar mead, depending on when you go to Falkreath, if you have Hearthfire installed, you may or may not need it. I have it on the gear list, and I'm taking it off right now. But if you reach level 6, yes, 6, before going to Falkreath, if you have Hearthfire installed, you won't need it anymore. And you'll know when that happens. A courier delivers a letter. So you may not need it. It's on the list in case you either don't have Hearthfire or you go to Falkreath early. This bear is the last thing. And get close enough, let Hadvar kill it. Without too much trouble. Watch for that red dot to appear. There we go.
Dead.
Despite his whining, Hadvar won't have it. There he goes. Told you. That's our first standard bear pelt. I need 10 more standard, 20 more total. And we also got some bear claws. Not bad. So let's head on out. With that in hand. I'm going to try to roll with the randomness a little bit more, vis-a-vis Radiant quests and what have you. I won't be too manipulative where I can help it. There are times when I'll just have to be... I'll adopt a strategy of backtracking when necessary.
This looks like the way out. I was starting to wonder if we'd ever make it.
Good work, Hadvar! Now, in a departure from my first 2 playthroughs, I'm actually going to split up from Hadvar just as soon as I get the objective to join the Imperial Legion. I'm not going to make a point of following him to Riverwood and keeping with him. I'll, sweep through some extra exploration first.
Closest town from here is Riverwood. My uncle's the blacksmith there. I'm sure he'd help you out. It's probably best if we split up. Good luck. I wouldn't have made it without your help today.
Completed Unbound started before the storm, and believe it or not, because I reset them, we got the achievement, Unbound. Complete Unbound, 1 out of 75. Very good. So the completed Unbound text does change. I have escaped both my execution and a dragon attack at Helgen. I now have my freedom to do as I see fit in Skyrim. So I will take Unbound off of my quest list. Way down at the main quest line. And let's look at Before the Storm. Hadvar suggested that I head to the nearby town of Riverwood. His uncle is the blacksmith there and should be able to help me. Talk to Alvor in Riverwood. Will do.
Wait! Looks like he's gone for good this time. But I don't think we should stick around to see if he comes back.
Note that now we're able to pickpocket Hadvar. As far as, I'm changing my strategy with stolen goods, too. Anything I can't use, I'm gonna leave be. Because by the time I make it to Riften and join the Thieves Guild and can sell stolen goods, my speech is usually at or near 100 anyway. I will steal his arrows, because, as I said, I can use those.
Closest town from here is Riverwood. My uncle's the blacksmith there. I'm sure he'd help you out. It's probably best if we split up. Good luck. I wouldn't have made it without your help today.
I want to stick with him long enough for him to ask me to join the Legion. Then I'm going to backtrack up there to make sure I grab a couple of snowberries. Ultimately, I'll have a surplus of those, but I do need them for the, By the way, on the so close Steam achievement list, Unbound is the first one it lists. Next is Blessed. Select a Standing Stone Blessing. Okay, neat. We'll do that. It'll be the Mage Stone, because enchanting is the first thing I need to raise.
Listen, you should go to Solitude and join up with the Imperial Legion. We could really use someone like you. We'd better keep moving. I feel like that dragon... I hope that dragon isn't still flying around here somewhere.
Join the Imperial Legion. Miscellaneous.
Come on. I feel better once we're under cover in Riverwood. I still almost can't believe it. A real live dragon. What do you need?
You really think I should join the Imperial Legion?
Of course. I know today wasn't the best introduction to the Legion, but I hope you'll give us another chance. The Legion could really use someone like you, especially now. And if the rebels have themselves a dragon, General Tullius is the only one who can stop them.
You think General Tullius knows where that dragon came from?
No, not yet. After all, a dragon, something out of old tales and legends. No one could have expected that. But you can bet he'll be trying to figure it out. This could shift the whole balance of the war. If you want to help stop that dragon, your best bet is to go to Solitude and join up with the Legion.
I'll have to think about it.
Sure, I understand. It's not easy to go from being executed by the Legion one day to joining up the next. But I think you'll see that the Legion is Skyrim's only hope for real peace right now. I know you'll make the right choice in the end.
He's right, we will.
Come on. I feel better once we're under cover in Riverwood.
How do I join the Imperial Legion?
General Tullius has his headquarters in Castle Dower, in the city of Solitude, northwest of here. You'll want to talk to Legate Ricka. She deals with the new recruits. I'll be sure to put in a good word for you if I get back to Solitude first.
I thought dragons were all dead long ago.
So did I. If the damn Stormcloak somehow found one, or woke it up, the war might be about to take an ugly turn. Hard to believe it was just a coincidence that the first dragon anyone's seen for centuries attacks just as Ulfric was about to be executed.
Who were those other prisoners?
Or you didn't know? That was Ulfric Stormcloak and his top lieutenants.
He's a traitor of some kind?
Right, the leader of the Stormcloaks. They claim to be fighting for Skyrim's freedom, but the war is really all about Ulfric wanting to be High King of Skyrim.
Who are the Stormcloaks?
You haven't heard of the civil war in Skyrim? I guess down in Cyrodiil, people have other things to worry about. It's pretty simple. Ulfric founded the Stormcloaks years ago, as a sort of private army to advance his ambitions. He's always used the ban on the worship of Talos to stir people up against the Empire. He never succeeded in getting much support, so a few months ago he murdered the High King. That got the Empire's attention.
How did you capture Ulfric?
A masterstroke by General Tullius. He's only been in charge here for a few months, but he's turned things around for the Empire. We've been trying to catch Ulfric since the war started, but he always seemed to slip through our fingers, like he knew we were coming. This time, the General turned the tables on him. Ulfric rode right into our ambush with only a few bodyguards. He surrendered pretty meekly too. So much for his death or glory reputation. I thought we were taking Ulfric back to Cyrodiil, but I guess the General changed his mind. You know the rest.
Why is the worship of Talos banned?
I guess that wasn't such a big deal elsewhere in the Empire, but here it's caused a lot of resentment. Native son and all that. Even I'll admit it hasn't been the Empire's finest hour. But it wasn't like the Emperor had any choice, did he? If he hadn't signed the peace treaty with the Thalmor, they would have destroyed the Empire. Then where would Skyrim be? That's the part that Ulfric's supporters always conveniently forget about. Unless the Empire stands together, the Thalmor will destroy us all.
Alright.
We'd better keep moving. I feel like that dragon might be up there watching us right now.
Thanks, Advar. So, as I was saying, I'm revising what I do with stolen goods. Because hoarding them, as well as with lockpicking and pickpocketing, for a few reasons. First, level control. I want pickpocket and lockpicking, and to a lesser extent sneak, to be controllable, rather than skyrocketing up because I insist on taking everything from every single town. Second, because speech has usually hit 100 before I'm able to fence stolen goods anyway, having access, having a big pile of them, of stolen goods that are simply vendor trash, just doesn't really particularly help me. I guess that's it as far as that goes. So, 2 reasons I'm only going to be stealing things that actually directly benefit me, or useful, like arrows, alchemy ingredients, enchanting effects I don't have, gear I need, that sort of thing. There's 1 snowberry. I need, because I use snowberries and blue butterfly wings, I need a grand total of 27 snowberries. We're down to 26 now. A couple of other things regarding achievements. I note that there is an achievement for discovering 13 standing stones. I'll tell you now, this is actually the first time I've had achievement unlocking on camera. That particular achievement is bugged in that every time you revisit a standing stone you've already discovered, it ticks up toward the achievement. So you can fast travel to and from the Guardian Stones a few times and get the achievement, even though they're the only one you've actually discovered. Just be alert to that. There's really nothing to do about it. Another snowberry. I need 25 more total. And let me check my time. 42 minutes. That's not too bad. The first thing we're going to tackle is an unmarked bandit camp that has Treasure Map 1 and a copy of Night Falls on Sentinel. Here's another thing I've modified. My original gear checklist had the rare gifts skill books on it, because any copy will work for those quests. These include The Mirror, Night Falls on Sentinel, Song of the Alchemists, and Last Scabbard of a Crash. However, when you initiate those quests, a particular copy of the book is spawned in a dungeon that you get directed to, and I would prefer to do the quest the way the designers obviously intended. So I've taken those books off the gear checklist and will simply sell the early copies I find and read so that we can well, I can't even think of the word I'm looking for. So that we can do those quests properly. Other issues, let me think. I had a bunch of things I needed to rattle off about logistics during this video. We don't have a pickaxe yet, so we'll ultimately need to revisit this area again once we get one, because there are 3 corundum veins, I think 4 or 5 iron veins that we're going to pass by before we find one. So that'll be a little bit of backtracking, but not too much, and by then we'll have offloaded a good portion of stuff. And finally, I'll be breaking my rules a little bit in order to trigger random events that otherwise we wouldn't see. So for example, I'm not into killing innocent people in this game, but I'll do it once so we can see the associated random events and have them be part of our game. I'll do it with somebody who's irrelevant or is going to die anyway. I'm going to buy at least one thing to trigger a particular letter from Calcimo that otherwise doesn't show up. And at least until my unseen random encounter list gets substantially smaller, except to offload, I'm going to try pretty hard to avoid fast traveling, because I want to see everything. We'll get Feindal fairly early on. He's the clear choice over Sven. I'll explain more once we're in Riverwood doing the quest. We'll get him fairly early on, and once we get him, we'll pretty much let him handle combat. But there will be a few things I have to kill myself, and because it has the least risk of unwanted experience gain, I believe I will use destruction spells in order to handle it. And you'll know when the switch flips and we start wanting to gain experience. It'll be pretty obvious. So pretty. I love this game. I love it so much. That's what I was looking for. I knew there was a beehive around here. I'll have to see how long this little jaunt took. One thing I actually wish pretty hard, that unfortunately is not present in the game, I wish that it had some kind of tracking system to give you random encounters you haven't seen yet, rather than recycle ones you have seen. I'm actually kind of surprised that it doesn't. I know that, for instance, Fallout 3 actually didn't recycle encounters. So if you explored all the different spawn points, you're more or less, not guaranteed, because you'd miss spawn points and sometimes it wouldn't spawn an encounter at all, but you would cycle through ones you hadn't seen before you got repeats. It's not the case here. You'll repeat some encounters dozens of times and not even see the one you're actually looking for. At the moment, there are other things that are on my list that probably won't end up happening. For example, there's a quest in Dragonborn called Lost Knowledge, which we'll never actually do. It relies on reaching a certain point in the main quest line without having found all of Hermaeus Mora's black books. By the time I reach that point in the main quest line, I will have found all of Hermaeus Mora's black books, so the quest won't be there. But I'll tell you when that point is, so if you're using those lists, you can go cross it off yourself. As much as I would like to kill that deer, I'll just show you. There's no way I could do it right now. I'm not going to cheese deer in order to get their pelts and antlers early. See, just not a chance. But by the time we are able to one-shot deer, we'll be more than capable of killing more than enough of them to backfill whatever we need for Hearthfire, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Anyway, here is that bandit camp. We are at the 50-minute mark, which is good. We are at level 1, so I will be shocked if there's anything here other than bandits, which is exactly what we want. I'm gonna lead with a familiar.
Now you're mine. You're mine. This what you want, huh? Damn you!
That may not have been the greatest idea.
Skyrim belongs to the Lord.
Yeah, this is a problem. The familiar is not as strong as I thought.
The bad time to get lost, friend.
This is tough. Legendary mode is tough. The good news is there's not a whole lot that we'll actually have to kill. On our own, but what I really want is to eliminate the archer.
It's nothing!
lost it.
What I needed was for the archer to go after the familiar.
Now ain't this a surprise?
Outstanding.
I'll kill you if I have to.
See, the thing is, I can handle one archer. Especially, she can be stupid persuaded thanks to my familiar being awesome. So, that hunting bow is an upgrade, but much more important is the fact that we just found treasure map 1. Now, leveling restoration always ends up... I don't think we're actually going to catch up to him. We'll see him again. For the moment, I'm just going to note that we have triggered the random encounter, Bard Traveling on the Road. That's Talsgar the Wanderer, and he's walking along the road. And we'll see him again so we can make sure to get his dialogue and pick his pockets and all the other good things we like to do. In the meantime, let's look at treasure map 1. Points to a log near Riverwood. That's interesting. Let's remove it from my book list. I have a whole category called out for the various treasure maps. That is treasure map 1. Delightful. That and that. That. Search this end table. And let's read Night Falls on Sentinel. It's a one-handed skill book. One-handed increased to 16. That is awesome. So first, I take it off the book list. It then also appears on my list of free skill boosts. Down at one-handed, there are a total of 9. Now, there are some missing from the last set of documents I uploaded. There's a Dragonborn quest called Filial Bonds, which when completed gives you a boost to block, heavy armor, and one-handed. Anyway, let's read this book. Night Falls on Sentinel by Boali. No music played in the nameless tavern in Sentinel, and indeed there was very little sound except for discreet, cautious murmurs of conversation, the soft pad of the barmaid's feet on stone, and the delicate slurping of the regular patrons, tongues lapping at their flagons, eyes focused on nothing at all. If anyone were less otherwise occupied, the sight of the young Redguard woman in a fine black velvet cape might have aroused surprise, even suspicion. As it were, the strange figure, out of place in an underground cellar so modest it had no sign, blended into the shadows. "Are you Jomek?" The stout middle-aged man with a face older than his years looked up and nodded. He returned to his drink. The young woman took the seat next to him. "My name is Habala," she said, and pulled out a small bag of gold, placing it next to his mug. "Sure it be," snarled Jomek, and met her eyes again. "Who do you want dead?" She did not turn away, but merely asked, "Is it safe to talk here?" "No one cares about nobody else's problems but their own here. You could take off your cuirass and dance bare-breasted on the table and no one would even spit," the man smiled. "So who do you want dead?" "No one, actually," said Habala. "The truth is, I only want someone removed for a while. Not harmed, you understand, and that's why I need a professional. You come highly recommended." "Who you been talking to?" asked Jomick dully, returning to his drink. A friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. One of them friends don't know what he's talking about, grumbled the man. I don't do that anymore. Habala quietly took out another purse of gold and then another, placing them at the man's elbow. He looked at her for a moment and then poured the gold out and began counting. As he did, he asked, Who do you want removed? Just a moment, smiled Habala, shaking her head. Before we talk details, I want to know that you're a professional and you won't harm this person very much, and that you'll be discreet. You want discreet? The man paused in his counting. All right, I'll tell you about an old job of mine. It's been, by RK, I can hardly believe it, more than 20 years, and no one but me's alive who had anything to do with the job. This is back afore the time of the War of Bettany, remember that? I was just a baby. Of course you was, Jomick smiled. Everyone knows that King Lotan had an older brother Greclith what died, right? And then he's got his older sister Obki, what married that king fella in Daggerfall. But the truth's that he had 2 elder brothers. Really? Habala's eyes glistened with interest. No lie, he chuckled. Weedy, feeble fella named Arthago, the king and queen's firstborn. Anyhow, this prince was heir to the throne, which his parents wasn't too thrilled about. But then the queen, she squeezed out 2 more princes who looked a lot more fit. That's when me and my boys got hired on, to make it look like the first prince got took off by the Underking or some such story. I had no idea, the young woman whispered. Of course you didn't, that's the point, Jomick shook his head. Discretion, like you said. We bagged the boy, dropped him off deep in an old ruin, and that was that. No fuss, just a couple fellows, a bag, and a club. That's what I'm interested in, said Habala. Technique. My friend who needs to be taken away is weak also, like this prince. What is the club for? It's a tool. So many things what was better in the past ain't around no more, just 'cause people today prefer ease of use to what works right. Let me explain. There are 71 prime pain centers in an average fella's body. Elves and Khajiit, being so sensitive and all, got 3 and 4 more respectively. Argonians and Slodes almost as many at 52 and 67. Jomick used his short stubby finger to point out each region on Habala's body. 6 in your forehead, 2 in your brow, 2 on your nose, 7 in your throat, 10 in your chest, 9 in your abdomen, 3 on each arm, 12 in your groin, 4 in your favored leg, 5 in the other. That's 63, replied Habala. No, it's not, growled Jomick. Yes, it is, the young lady cried back, indignant that her mathematical skills were being questioned. 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 7 plus 10 plus 9 plus 3 for one arm and 3 for the other plus 12 plus 4 plus 5. 63. I must have left some out, shrugged Jomick. The important thing is that to become skilled with a staff or club, you gotta be a master of these pain centers. Done right, a light tap could kill or knock out without so much as a bruise. Fascinating, smiled Habala. And no one ever found out? Why would they? The boy's parents, the king and queen, they're both dead now. The other children always thought their brother got carried off by the Underking. That's what everyone thinks. And all my partners are dead. Of natural causes. Ain't nothing natural that ever happens in the bay, you know that. One fella got sucked up by one of them Salinu. Another died of that same plague that took the queen and Prince Greclith. Another fella got himself beat up to death by a burglar. You gotta keep low, out of sight, like me, if you want to stay alive. Jomick finished counting the coins. You must want this fella out of the way bad. Who is it? It's better if I show you, said Habala, standing up. Without a look back, she strode out of the nameless tavern. Jomick drained his beer and went out. The night was cool with an unrestrained wind surging off the water of the Iliac Bay, sending leaves flying like whirling shards. Habala stepped out of the alleyway next to the tavern and gestured to him. As he approached her, the breeze blew open her cape, revealing the armor beneath and the crest of the King of Sentinel. The fat man stepped back to flee, but she was too fast. In a blur, he found himself in the alley, on his back, the woman's knee pressed firmly against his throat. The king has spent years since he took the throne looking for you and your collaborators, Jomick. His instructions to me what to do when I found you were not specific, but you've given me an idea. From her belt, Habala removed a small, sturdy cudgel. A drunk stumbling out of the bar heard a whimpered moan, accompanied by a soft whisper coming from the darkness of the alley. Let's keep better count this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. There's night falls on Sentinel. We wander to this other tent. Just a tankard, a wooden plate, And a large sack we can just reach from here with a couple cabbages inside. There's a bandit we can loot. There's another one. That should be all three because I already looted the archer. Let's look at this central platform now. 3 tankards. Other goodies. Satchel with a lockpick. Finally in here, Black Mage robes, which 50%. I may put these on for now. Take all these off, just to prevent light armor from raising when I don't really want it to. Do I have anything I can put on that won't inadvertently raise things? Yeah, actually I do. I won't put on that novice hood because I'm ultimately going to disenchant it, but that is very cool, and I suspect we're at or past the 1 hour mark, so we will drop it here with this bandit camp cleared out. This has been Let's Play Skyrim. We are free of Helgen Keep. We are out roaming the wilderness. Next time, we'll clear out a Shrine of Talos. I believe we'll have time to clear out and move into Anissa's cabin, our temporary, unofficial first home. And that'll probably be it for episode 3, but that's good enough. Until then, we've completed Unbound, and we're ready to explore. Thank you very much for watching, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.